Life is hard, and that's true for everyone. Can we be that bridge, though, to help others through those troubled waters? We can, but that depends on our choices. And that's our topic on this episode of the Educators Among Us podcast.
Welcome to the Educators Among Us podcast, where we share motivational messages and inspiring stories for and about educators. Your host, Scott Barron, is author of the critically acclaimed book, Love 'Em and Lead 'Em, and provides powerful insights and wisdom for those who heed the call to teach, coach, lead, and serve at all levels of education.
This is Scott Barron, and I'm honored to be your host for the Educators Among Us podcast. This is a program that is specifically designed for those who serve in all levels of education. They have that joy, they have that passion. They love to teach and to coach and to serve and to be a part of the lives of students, regardless of the age levels. The educators that we have a chance to inspire and encourage, they range from preschool teachers through up elementary, middle, high school, college, adult education, all the way through. Anybody who's involved in either a school or a learning organization, we're grateful for you and the efforts that you make to invest in other people. You love people, obviously, or you wouldn't do this work. You have a passion for it, and we're just so thankful that you are willing to stand in there and to grow yourself and continue to be a part of the lives of other people. It takes work. It takes a lot of work, and occasionally we run into problems, right? Even troubled waters. Those experiences where, man, we have a lot of conflict and we have a lot of concern and maybe even some feelings of being overwhelmed. We run into troubled waters. There's one song that said, nobody knows the troubles that I've seen, right? And that's probably true, but what I've discovered in this journey of life is that everybody's got their troubles, and very often we have no idea what they are going through. We make a lot of assumptions. We think we do, but most of the time we're looking through a very, very small sliver at what we think is the whole picture, and it's just a tiny little part. It's just a small piece of this massive puzzle. And that's just the challenge of living and of loving and of course of learning, right? Is navigating those troubled waters. Paul Simon, of course, penned the famous song, A Bridge Over Troubled Waters. And he says, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. It's a great song. It communicates that, hey, I'll be there for you. I understand you're going to go through stuff. There's going to be times that just feel overwhelming, but hey, we can get through this together. I was walking through the Atlanta airport recently, and I had an interesting sort of inspiration and experience where as I was navigating through it. Of course, if you've ever been to the airport at all, but especially the Atlanta airport, it's chaos. There's just people going everywhere, and this one particular day it was rough, and there were families sprinting, and apparently there had been some storms around the country, and so some flights had been delayed. And of course, that's a major hub, and everybody's running to different gates, and there was this one family I could see coming off in the distance. And you could tell the body language, the looks on their faces, they were running it tight. That maybe they've gotten delayed or something happened, and they're all running full speed ahead, and everybody's really tense and stressed, and except for this kid who was riding in a stroller. Everybody else had a panicked look. They were desperately trying to navigate through all the tangle of people, but they were exhausted, and yet they're pushing this stroller, right? And I look at this young man in the stroller, and he was enjoying the ride. He was like he was on a roller coaster, because you can imagine they're swinging through different people, and they're stopping, and they're going, and they're excuse me, I gotta go, and he's just sitting back. He's got his legs crossed. He's got a smile on his face, and he's just looking at people. He's enjoying the ride, and it was interesting to me to see that everybody else in this family was so troubled, and yet here he was with a contentment. And in his contentment, this kid didn't share their desperation to get to the gate on time. He didn't share their stress. He didn't share their thinking of what if, what happens if, yeah, but, right? There was, what would they say to the gate agent? What's going to happen? How mad they are, how ... right? I mean, after all, he had no control in the matter. So he chose instead to simply enjoy the ride. And, we all have those choices, right? That's the interesting thing about going through troubled waters, is we always have choices. Even though it feels like we don't, we actually do. And the broader we can expand our choices, even sometimes exercising that important pause to remember perspective, to remember the purpose, to remember the bigger picture, it matters. Worry. Worry is the interest paid by those who borrow trouble. It's a quote from George Washington, right? Worry is the interest paid. It's the fee that we pay, which actually has consequences. We know that worry has negative consequences for our minds. Worry has negative consequences for our bodies and our hearts, particularly. Worry has consequences for our behavior. It causes us to think differently. It tenses our muscles up, and we typically will perform at a lower level. Worry keeps us up at night. It causes us to grind our teeth and sometimes to have even physiological problems in our stomachs and other places, right? Worry is trouble. And sometimes it's an exercise in futility, because there's so many things that, we really don't control. Troubles are plenty. We have betrayal. We have embarrassment. We have grief. We have loneliness. We have crisis. We have conflict. And the list goes on, right? All of this can happen in a single day, but still we have options that can be picked, right? While we have conflict, we have choices, right? Some people choose the bridge over troubled waters, while others go straight down the ramp into the troubled waters. I mean, they're just they're going to just splash. And maybe you've seen those boat launch videos sometimes on social media where people are trying to launch their boat, and some people are less experienced than others, or sometimes they're somehow impaired in their ability, and it's a disaster, right? But sometimes we launch into those waters knowing what it is, knowing what's coming, and then we wonder, why are we going through this, right? Some choose to be a bridge for others, walking the dark path as a friend and a lamp. They're trying to light the way. They're trying to be there for them. Now, some choose to revel in the pain of others. They actually somehow, some way find a way to make fun of or even enjoy the difficulties of others. They depravely celebrate their downfall, the sadness and the struggles of it all. And it's one of the depravities of man is the idea that we would celebrate in others' troubles, right? Some choose to learn wise lessons in those troubles, right? They find better habits as they persevere through it all. We always have choices, right? We choose how we respond to our own troubles, and we choose how we somehow can be a part of the lives of others and helping them navigate through this. It all requires trust, doesn't it? When you pass through the waters, promises Isaiah 43:2, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep you over. Life is hard. Period. Life is hard, with never-ending tides of difficulties and stressful situations. Our own burden, as we said earlier, our own burden may appear to be way bigger than anyone else's. I mean, we're carrying such a load. But that's because we only have a small fractional view into the whole of their experiences and troubles. We don't know what we don't know about their journey. Right? Bridging troubled waters gets easier with a mature faith and trusted relationships when we can see a greater purpose, when we have a grounding, when our house, as it is said, is built on the rock, things change, right? Faith reminds us that we're not in control. We're not in control of much of anything, but there's a higher purpose in it all. Sometimes we just have to trust and somehow find commitment and contentment as the ride goes on, right? So the encouragement for you this week is bridge the troubled waters, my friend. Bridge the troubled waters, providing the support that they need to ease their mind and keep pressing on. You have a ministry, you have a work, you have an impact on other people. That's the nature of being involved in education. We change lives. And that's a noble calling that comes with responsibility. We know that we have a power. We can speak truth into people's lives. We can speak encouraging words. We can speak kindness. We can teach. We can guide. We can prod. We can set high expectations. And we can be honorable in our own behavior and of course, kind and professional in our attitudes. Makes all the difference in the world. And I hope that you're able to be that bridge, that you're able to find help as you're going through some of those troubles, because we all do. But also you'll find, of course, that you find greater contentment and joy in the work when you're able to bridge those troubled waters for others. They are quite honestly inevitable, and sometimes they are formidable. But thank you. Thank you for standing in that gap, looking out for people and loving them, because that's our calling. Hey, as you're going through this week, a coaching question to consider at the end of each day. Did I do my best to bridge troubled waters today? Did I do my best to bridge troubled waters today? Love him and lead him, my friend. This is Scott.
Thank you for joining us for the Educators Among Us podcast and for your courageous commitment to this noble calling. We get you and the challenges of this work. To stay connected with this community, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and weekly encouragement at educatorsamongus.com.